Hey guys, it's been a while since I posted a video. I recorded some fights the other night, so I figured I'd play these fights, let you guys watch them, and in the background I would talk about some of the new update notes. The first thing I want to talk about is, for me at least, if you go and look into your factory, your ship factory, you can build a Sol battleship. It looks like a Zeal that's been marked up to Mark 5 without any of the what are they? Well, I'll look at it right now while I'm running the footage. So it looks like a Mark 5 Zeal, essentially. It's got 50% cruiser damage, weapon mass reduced to 20%, shield bypass plus 20%. It looks like a base, it has, 6 days, 21 hours build time. And if you go to a Zeal, which I'm scrolling down to right now, a regular Zeal is, take all this stuff off here. You've got, it looks like it's probably going to be about the same build time. So, kind of cool, except, and it has the same mass. It's the exact same mass as a Mark 1 Zeal with the bonuses of a Mark 5 Zeal. So that's kind of interesting, really, to see that. It looks like one of the, they post these events or these updates, and they always have like something that slips through the cracks in the meantime. So because of that, I have one building. I really don't know what it's gonna do for me, but I have nothing else to build right now, so I'm building that instead. But anyways, the release notes, right? So we have support for some events. Your monthly event, which starts next week. We do have I think it's a decimation this weekend, something like that. But I'm looking at the notes in front of me. I'm not looking at the actual calendar. But the catch-up event we have this month, we have a Planet Strike again, which I think those two are good. That gives people a chance to get fusion thrusters and metaphase shields. Because if you look right now, those are in a really crappy blueprint tier for VSEC that if you're a new and up-and-coming player, you probably can't hit. And fusion is everything. You need fusion on all your ships for farming at that level and that stage in the game. So it's good. I'm glad that they release those events to make it a little easier for players to get. They still have to spend the time to get it. They're not just giving it away, but the event it's not that hard, and it gives the new players something to do to feel successful. I think it's a great way to keep players in the game. That being said, we also have some more mobilizations, decimations. Somebody called it the June's month of, craziness. There's a lot of events this month, and a lot of them they butt right up to each other. So we're seeing that same, event. It's funny because the first month that they did this was, I think, Christmas of 15 or December of 15. We had like 5 events that month, and everyone was losing their minds. They thought it was the greatest thing ever, and then they were like, holy crap, I can't wait for this to be over. And then it never really stopped after that. So we had a lot more like that. It was interesting. It's been interesting since, and this month will be no different. So we've got some support for some mobilizations, decimations. Just talked about that. New targets. Gears Fortress. So that sounds to me like a new basing fleet that we'll get to, or basing target for this month's event. Which they are calling eradication, so maybe we'll be eradicating the Demon Core finally, or eradicating whatever virus Gear has that's got him locked away in his castle. And about this fight, really quick. So this fight was one that I actually, this guy wasn't a bad cutter pilot. The one thing that you have to do as a battleship pilot when you're flying a fleet against a fleet of cutters like this, if this is how you're going to fly, is you have to not get overwhelmed with the fact that yes, he's going to overtake your ships. Don't get overwhelmed with that and try to save them if it's undoable. And then coming into this fight here, I had the choice to run away, and I probably could have ran for a while. He would have caught me eventually, I'm sure, running that Manny special. But I'm not that kind of player. If I know that I'm not going to be able to outrun him, I'm just going to go in, which is exactly what I did here. Anyways, moving back to the topic at hand, the event store. Where was Gears Fortress, new basing target that we're probably going to get to see. That's going to be fun. I like a change, so I'm glad it's not going to be like the Reapers that we've been fighting the same fleets for 6 months and no originality to. Which, hey, I don't mind that, but it does get old after a while. But we will probably still see the Reapers again, so don't be scared. Xeno Suppressor hull and crafting, which is cool because we'll probably get the hull and then have the crafting right afterwards, like normal. Hopefully we'll get a chance to get some of those boxes too. New weapons: Xeno Seeker missile weapon and regular and heavy versions of it. So that sounds like the new weapon that's coming out this month. It sounds kind of interesting. They make it sound like it's going to track the target. It makes me think of a vector torpedo when I hear that. So I'm kind of excited to see how that's going to go, and I kind of think maybe we'll be able to use that on our battleships and make a little Xeno version of our vector battleships. So going into the next stuff, we have Xeno Armored Thrusters and Xeno Armored Hold. Oh boy, so some real original stuff here. Not like they haven't released this into the game before, so it's going to be a lot of tech is what it sounds like we're going to get the chance to get. We've already gotten all 3 of the armor types, so I'm assuming that these may take the place of the armor types in decimation or mobilization, but we'll have to see. Really, what I would expect from those is, just like it says, Xeno Armored Thrusters with a lot more armor and a lot less repair time, and Xeno Armored Hold with a lot more armor, a lot less repair time, and more cargo. Maybe out of the Xeno Armored Thrusters, we'll see stats comparable to a combination of Rear 5 and the Turning Special 5, as in 110, but we'll have to see once that comes out. So we have support for a couple new turrets, which are interesting to me. The Rupture Beam turret and the Shatter Driver turret. Now, I'm expecting the Rupture Beam turret to be very comparable to the Impulse Beam turret, just more damage and more mass. The Shatter Driver turret, though, is going to be interesting because Shatter Driver has such a long range. So right now, the longest range turret that we have, I think, is 9,500 meters, if I'm correct. It's above 9,000, though. I know a lot of people, myself included, are running the Storm Driver turret, and the Storm Driver turret has a very good minimal range arc with a decent 8,400 meters at its max range, so that's good. Shatter Drivers, however, have that 5,200 meter range versus the regular Gemini Driver, which has 4,000 meters of range. So we could see something comparable with, I'm expecting it to have about the range of a Wave Driver turret, but at about 9,500 or 9,250 is Wave Driver turret. So I think maybe 9,250 or 93, maybe out to 95, but that'll be a really OP turret. We'll just see a lot of people changing out their Storm Drivers in favor of Shatter Drivers. So then the Rupture Beam turret, like I said, I expect that to be around the same stats as your Impulse Beam with more range and such. So Disintegrator Cannon as well, I think that's going to be comparable to Aurora. Not a whole lot of new stuff there. I think it's going to be used about the same. Here's the deal with the beam turrets and the Aurora rays. The damage has to hit the target to actually do any good. If it doesn't hit the target, then it's not very useful, is it? So that's just how I feel about it. If it's not going to hit the target, then I'm probably not going to use it. So yeah, if it's not out past at least 6,000 meters, you probably won't see it on my base. And that's base. That's without any specials added. So then we have a Cluster Missile turret. So the Cluster Missile, good on cutters, bad on everything else. The reason being, right, and this is the regular version of it, the reason that it's good on cutters and bad on everything else is because most of your targets that you're chasing down, they see your range and they're going to try to kite you and stay out of that range. That just makes natural sense. That being said, nobody's going to get in range of a high damage dealing target if they don't, or high damage dealing weapon if they don't have to. So the difference with a base and a fleet is that a base can't run away from you. I think, let me rephrase that. With a base, your targets that are attacking your base are running into you versus away from you. Again, just like the other two weapons, you have to be able to actually deal the damage for it to be worthwhile and make any sense. If it's not dealing damage, then it's useless. So if it has good range, maybe around the range of Seiko turrets, I think it'll be useful. Other than that, if it's sitting at, it's got a really nerfed range on the fleet version. If it's comparable to that versus Seiko on a base, it might not be worth using. That's just how I feel about it. Let's see what else. We got some reusable item crafting for infernal weapons and specter wings, which is interesting. I haven't received any specter wings, so apparently we're going to be getting specter wings as well for our base for defense. That'll be kind of fun. New squad to throw up there to just be cannon fodder, basically. Wings aren't very useful on bases right now with the fleets that are hitting them. They just kind of chew through wings faster than you can possibly imagine. But then we have your Infernal Wave Drivers, Gatling Rays, and, well, I just talked, yeah, moving on. Base and fleet gating was increased to level 65. So that's awesome. I like that. I've been looking forward to that for a while now. I wanted that to happen a while ago, and I'm glad that it's finally coming to us. And they also increased the experience values on a lot of Infernal weapons, which hopefully will keep us from seeing too many spam Damocles fleets. I freaking hate those fleets. They are the most useless fleet in the game for useless players. If you don't have skill to fly, stay docked. That's how I feel about it. And you don't need skill to fly those. Granted, you see me using a lot of troll cutters right now. These are just fun, really. I'm just using these because they're fun. And people can't fight them, and they have nothing against it. And it's fun as hell. But yeah. What else do we have here? So they decreased the experience value for Archer Beam, Reverb Ray, and Neutron Driver. Now, Archer Beam and Neutron Driver, that doesn't really affect that many fleets, but because not a lot of people are using either of those right now, there's other better options out there, in my opinion. Neutron Driver is an interesting weapon, though. I guess Archer Beam is too, but it's a beam weapon that just has really long range. But Reverb Ray, a lot of people are using Reverb Ray, and that hurt a lot of fleets. I had a lot of fleets that I was very disappointed to see that. I haven't checked to see what the experience values have been decreased to, but I'm sure we'll see numbers flying around the forums soon. Either way, I'm glad that they decreased them. It says here that they won't be making any adjustments on that for the next 3 months, but it's KIXEYE, so we'll probably see that change in the next 2 weeks. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys have a good event this week, and I'll be posting more videos as time goes on. Sorry I haven't posted in a while. Have a good one, guys.